This is my wife, Andrea, and as long as I've known her, she's had this knack for taking old, outdated things and turning them into something beautiful. So after seeing this about 1,000 times, I took it upon myself to make her a channel because she wouldn't do it herself. And so now I'm super excited to share with you the creative adventures of my DIY wife. Hey everyone, it's Dean and Andrea, and today we want to share with you about a challenge that we took at the beginning of the year.
So back in January, before we even started this channel, we thought it would be cool to challenge ourselves and see just how much furniture we could flip on the side while still doing all of our other jobs and responsibilities.
So we ended up flipping 10 pieces of furniture or 10 sets of furniture within a month. And so in this video, we just want to share all about that process, how we did it, and of course, how much profit we made from those 10 furniture flips in 1 month.
Part of what sparked this little challenge was we actually lost about 1/3 of our income due to COVID earlier in 2020, like I'm sure a lot of you did. And so we'd been flipping more furniture on the side and just really encouraged to see that we could actually help make up some of that. So we just thought, how much can we do?
So we kind of just went for it. We basically made it our part-time job for a month, and the results were pretty amazing, pretty insane. So we're gonna share about that in this video, and let's get started. So first, let's talk about the process, because even though each piece was unique, they all went through the same basic process.
I'll start off by saying we actually bought all of these pieces off of Facebook Marketplace. After you have your furniture, the first and most important step is cleaning it. I like to use TSP, which can be found at any of your local hardware stores. I'll also add that we'll be linking any of these products in the description, so if you're interested in them, you can find them there. After cleaning, I make any necessary repairs and also use wood filler to fill any deeper scratches or things like that. And if I want to change up the hardware, I'll go ahead and fill the holes in now. Next, I use 150 grit sandpaper to give the whole piece a good sanding and also sand down those spots where I added wood filler. Then I use a damp rag to wipe off any of the dust left from sanding. Next is priming, and my absolute favorite primer is Zinsser's shellac-based primer because it bonds better than any other that I've used, and it also blocks stains. Next comes painting, and I get a lot of questions about what kind of paint to use, what kind of paint sprayer, should you use a brush, and as far as the kind of paint, I have honestly not found a huge difference between all the different kinds. I do like Behr paint from Home Depot and Sherwin-Williams paint, and I do get a lower sheen because I feel like the top coat will bond easier to it. But other than that, as long as you're doing really good prep work and then your top coat, you'll end up with a really durable finish. If you've been watching our channel, you know that I started out using an airless paint sprayer and have recently switched over to a gravity-fed HVLP system, but you can get a great finish just using a high-quality brush. In between all of my coats, I do a light sanding with 220 grit sandpaper. After 2 coats of paint, I finish with a water-based polyacrylic for my top coat. I always do at least 2 coats, sometimes 3 of my polyacrylic. And here's a little tip for if you're painting with a darker color. You can actually mix a spoonful of your paint in with your top coat to avoid that streaky, kind of cloudy look. On a lot of my pieces, I like to add a custom wood base. This is of course totally optional, but if you want to know how to build it, we have a link in the description to a video showing exactly how I build it. Once the piece is all finished, we move it inside for staging. It's best if you can find a place that is well lit with natural light. There are a lot of different ways that you can stage a piece, so I'm just telling you what I like to do. On pretty much every piece, I have some large scale artwork, whether that's 2 pictures side by side or a couple of my larger vintage frames layered, but that is a must for me. Something else I always add is some type of plant. And then I'll commonly layer in a stack of books or a candle or something like that, and I take a step back and just get a look and see if it feels too busy and if there's anything I want to change. After staging and pictures, it's ready to list on Facebook Marketplace. Here's a few helpful tips. First, take plenty of pictures with the staging materials and then without. Try and be as descriptive as you can and include things like the dimensions, if there are any flaws on it or anything like that.
All right, so now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. How much did we actually make from this furniture flipping month? What was our cost, expenses, and of course our profits?
For our first pair of dressers, our combined cost was $260. We then sold them for $400 and $450, giving us a profit of $590.
On our next dresser, our all-in cost was $120. We ended up selling it for $400, so that was a profit of $280.
On this next dresser, our cost was $120, and we ended up selling it for $700, giving us a profit of $580.
Next, we picked up a mid-century piece and our all-in cost was $100. Then we sold it for a massive $750 for a profit of $650, our highest profit ever for a single piece of furniture.
Our next piece was this cool dresser with these glass doors. Our all-in cost was $120. We sold it for $650, giving us a profit of $530.
Our next piece had an all-in cost of $90. We sold it for $650 for a profit of $560.
Our all-in cost for this next dresser was $130. We sold it for $300, giving us a profit of $170.
On the next piece, our all-in cost was $120. We sold it for $550 for a profit of $430.
For this next set of dressers, our all-in cost was $220. We sold it for a combined total of $800, giving us a profit of $580.
And for our last dresser, our all-in cost was $100. We sold it for $350, which gave us a profit of $250. And we also want to mention right here that we spent about $300 for a U-Haul and gas to take this furniture to a larger city to sell them at a higher price than we would here in our medium-sized town.
So after subtracting that U-Haul cost, our total profit for January was $4,320.
Yo! All right, so now that you've heard the number, let's talk about a few really important points when it comes to this process. The first one, I think, is to ask how much work was involved with this, because I wouldn't say at all that this is fast money, easy money, instant money. It did take work, but obviously it made a great profit.
Yeah, we usually average about 4 to 5 hours per piece, and some pieces will be way on the low side of that or even less. And then you have pieces where just stuff doesn't go right, I have to redo things, and it ends up taking way more than we thought.
The next important question would be, how much experience do you need? Because we're definitely not new at this. This isn't our first rodeo, if you know what I mean. But how much experience do you really need to sell pieces at a high price?
I feel like this is kind of a complicated question to answer, and we did start selling our pieces pretty low, and we've increased as our skill and our just quality has gone up. But at the same time, I did teach all 3 of my siblings to start flipping furniture in the past 6 months, and they're selling their pieces for as much or more than we sell ours for.
So I think the last thing to talk about would be, can we sustain this pace on a monthly basis? Could we do this month after month?
And the answer is yes, if we weren't doing this YouTube channel.
Hey, so basically it takes us more time to film and edit all of these pieces than it does to actually flip the piece. So that is a big time commitment for us. So if we weren't doing that, we definitely could be flipping several dressers a month and making a profit like this, but we just love to film it and make art out of the whole process. So that's all for this furniture flipping challenge video. We hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment or ask questions and we'll do our best to get back to them. But until next time, have a lovely, wonderful, incredible day.
Flippin' awesome day.
Have a flippin' awesome day.
It's like my dream to have you doing the perfect line, and I'm just over here like this, dude. Then you don't catch it until you're editing.
Would that be video bombing? On our next dresser, our all-in cost was $120. We ended up selling it for $400, so that was a profit of $280.
Got like a big booger. Don't put that in the outtakes.
I'm putting those in the outtakes. Andrea, fix her nose.
Is there any boogers sticking out? It feels like there is. Don't.
No. All right, so now let's get into the nitty process, because every piece, although it's unique, be free to ask questions. Be free. All right.
Be free. Well done, baby.
Top
well done. Oh, I will. Oh, it was super easy. We actually did this all in our sleep. You basically don't have to do anything. If you're still watching now, thanks.
Yo ho ho, thank you.
There's a special giveaway for you. We'll just go stress eat some ice cream after this.
Okay.